Hey guys, Forex here. Hope you're all well. What you're looking at in front of you is a faulty Sony Playstation, the original grey model. Now, I paid a whopping £3 for this system. I got it from a local indoor car boot sale, and the reason I got it for £3 is the person who was selling it wanted £5 for it, which is still really cheap. But I knocked him down because I'll show you the fault with it. If we look inside, the actual spindle motor connector that holds the CD on has blown out, and that will need replacing. So I got him to knock £2 off it, and I got it for £3. Now also as well, what I can tell straight away is this thing stinks. The person who had this smoked, and it absolutely smells of cigarette smoke. That horrible, like burning pungent smoke is coming off it, and I've got to totally strip it down and give it a really good clean. The case itself is not in bad condition. If you look at it up close though, you can see where all the crap inside, all the cracks and cavities, where it looks like someone's wiped it down, but they've not done a proper good job of it. So I'm going to properly strip it down and give it a really good clean. But first, what I want to do is actually power it on and see if everything works. So yeah, give me 5 minutes to set up and we'll crack on with that. So okay, I'm all locked up, ready to give it a quick initial test. Power, SCART, a controller. Now I can't test the actual laser block at the moment, and there's a reason for that, and I'll explain that later in the video. But yeah, I just wanted to show you how dirty this system was. If you look on the outside, you can see the old grey colour, but if you look on the inside, you've got like a yellow stain, and that's nicotine, and it absolutely stinks. So yeah, let's test this system. So I'm gonna power on, power light comes on, which is a good sign. And we've got a boot, so at least the system's booting. So let's see if the controller works. Yeah, the controller's working, that's fine. So the actual inputs work on the console. Now what I want to do is power off, and I want to hook up my Explorer cartridge to see if the IO port is working on the back, because if I ever want to hook up a PSIO to this, I'm going to need this port to work. So just slot that in and we'll power it on, see if it boots the Explorer. Yeah, but it is. So yeah, that's the IO port working on the back. Now like I said, I can't test the actual laser block at the moment. I'm going to explain why I can't test that right now. But first, I want to get the lid off this thing. Okay, I need to get into this thing, and it's super easy to do. There's only 6 screws. But first, I thought I'd show you what model number this is. This is a 7500 model. And I need to get in it. So to get in this, there's 6 screws. There's one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, and the last one's here. You take those out, you turn it upside down, and the top lid should just pull straight off. So okay, I've taken out those 6 screws. Now I've already had a quick sneak peek inside, and there's a little surprise in there. See if you can spot what it is. So I'm gonna take the lid off and have a look round. It's a power board. Keep going. There's our controller inputs. You can see, I look at the dirty yellowness on the actual metal block that holds the laser up. If we move down, look what we got there. What's this little thing? Let's peel that back, see what it is. Oh, it's a mod chip. And what's that next to it? It's one of the balls off the spindle motor connector. Oh dear, that's class. Wow. Okay, so this is mod chipped already. Not surprising. You find that in PlayStations every now and again. You'll open one up and there'll be a little mod chip in there waiting for you. What I've noticed though is this is the old 4-wire mod chip, which is really surprising, because by the time this model came out, the 7500 series, they were already stealth versions. of the mod chip, which were more wires, like I think the MM3 was 7 wires and the Stealth 4 was 8 wires, and this looks to be the old 4-wire mod chip. But saying that though, this could be a Stealth chip that's just been wired in the old 4-wire way. Now what I might try and do, if someone hasn't blown the configuration, the copy protection fuse on the PIC chip, is try and dump the code that's on the PIC chip, and then I can find out what type of chip this is, what code this chip is, and then I'll be able to tell if it's the old 4-wire mod chip or the one of the Stealth mod chips that's just been wired in the old 4-wire way. But yeah, let's talk about that, guys. I need to get the optical block out, and that's super easy. Just pull that connector out of there, pull that connector out of there, and that's it. That's the optical block out. So okay, I have the optical block out. Here it is, you can see it. Now what you're looking at next to it is a spare one that I took out of a PlayStation some time back. Now I'm not going to be using this because it would be a bit stupid if I just went, oh here's the problem, take it out and just put this one in it. I want to show you how you actually replace the actual full connector that holds the CD in place. But yeah, I can see the problem, what's happened here. Now if we look inside, I don't know whether you can see, if you look at the tops of the screws, there's one there. If you look through this hole here, there's a screw there. Now if I spin it around a little bit, you'll see the bottom screw. This holds the spindle motor inside the optical block. Now if you look at those, they've got wear on the top of them. They should be black, but they've got silver on top. Now what's happening, what I think that's happened is someone has pushed this down too far. Now if you look actually at a fully working one, you can see there's a gap, right? Now probably what's happened here is someone has pushed this down too far, and now it's catching, because if I try and spin it, you can see it just stops straight away. Now if I get a fully working one, try and spin it, you can see it just spins freely, nice and spinny spin. Yeah, so this one looks like it's been pushed down too far, and that's probably why the top bit has exploded off, because you know it should look like this with these bearings that hold the CD in. So this is just this part, we're just missing this part off the top of this, and it looks like it's exploded off because someone's pushed it down too far. Also another telltale sign that this has been pushed down too far, if we look at the actual optical block itself, you can see scratch marks on the optical block where the CD has been too low and it's been catching as it's been spinning around. Now the reason, obviously I didn't want to power this up with this optical block in it, because if this is very stiff, you know, it's going to be pulling a lot more current trying to turn it, and the actual IC that controls this, the spindle motor IC, will have to sink more current, which basically means it's going to get hotter. And you know, one thing that kills chips is heat, and I didn't really want to turn it on with this thing rubbing like this and causing excess heat. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip down this laser to get this optical block out, this spindle motor out, and I'm going to show you how you put a brand new one of these CD connectors, so we can have a nice new spindle motor, and it spins nice and freely. So okay, the first thing I need to do to get the spindle motor out is remove this shroud that covers the actual laser block. It just hides all the internals. So first thing, I need to actually move the laser down. Now I'm just going to push it. There you go. That's the laser moved to the end stop. Now what I want to do next is, I've got to do this off camera because I can't do it while I'm filming it, is I need to take this screw out here and this screw out here, and there are two clips that hold this on. Then there's a clip just next to this slide motor here, and the clip here. If you remove those two clips, this black part will lift off and you can just pull it off in this direction. So I'll get on with that and show you what it looks like once I've done it. But okay, I've removed those two screws, I've unclipped both the clips. Now it should just lift and I should be able to just pull it out from the side. There we go, and that's it, we're in. As Dave Jones would say, we're in like Flynn. So okay, what I'm about to do now is remove the spindle motor. Now I actually completely remove it. What I mean by that is there's two wires that connect the spindle motor to the power board that distributes power. If I move there's two wires there, you can see a red and a black one. You don't have to remove those to get the spindle motor out, but if you don't, you're basically dragging this all around with you. So it's just easy to desolder those and work on the spindle motor freely. So I need to get those off. Also, I'll move it so you can see it. There's one screw at the top there, you can just see it there. And if I move it down, there's another screw just down there. I take those out and desolder those wires, and the spindle motor should slide out in this direction, and I can freely work on it then. So okay, I've desoldered those wires, I've removed those little tiny screws, you can see them, there's one there, and this should just pull straight out. Winner winner, chicken dinner. So okay, I've got the spindle motor out, I have the new spindle motor connector ready to place on top. Now if I show you the actual spindle motor, now it actually spins freely now the screws have been removed, so that just tells me there was nothing wrong with the motor. It was just this had been pushed down too far. Now what I need to do is obviously get this old connector off so I can put a new one on there. Now I learnt the hard way years ago when I started repairing PlayStations and doing things like this. If you try and pull this off, you can damage the actual stator inside the motor. So the best way I found to get this off is take some side cutters and just cut it off. Just nibble it off. Take little bits off it at a time. And what will eventually happen is it will just come off. So I'll see if I can show you a little bit of that. Just gonna, there you go, cut bits of it off. And I'm just gonna go around and cut little bits of it off until that connector is completely off. So okay, as you can see, it all broke off with my side cutters, pretty easy. I've not damaged the motor in any way by putting excess force on it. So what I need to do now is get the new CD connector on top of the spindle motor, and I'm going to show you how you do that right now. So okay guys, we've reached the critical point here. Now I'm going to give you two tips how to do this. Trust me, I've failed on this before and it's a nightmare. The first thing you need to get is the right height of this on the actual spindle motor. What I mean by that is the gap between the bottom of the motor and the bottom of this connector, basically this part here. Because if you get this wrong, the laser will not be able to track the CD properly, because it's been, you know, if it's too low on it, it'll be down like this, so it'll be too close to the laser. If it's too high, it'll be too far away from the laser to focus. So you've got to get the gap perfectly right. Now the gap is 1.5 millimeters. Now it's, unless you've got things like feeler gauges, if you're a mechanic and you've got a feeler gauge, try and get that gap is a little bit difficult, but I found the perfect gap and it works every single time. And what I use is I use some Vertiboard. Now Vertiboard is typically 1.6 millimeters, and that 0.1 of a millimeter, which is basically a bee's dick, is perfectly fine and it works every single time. So what I tend to do is I put a piece of Vertiboard there like that, and then I'll come along and put some on the opposite side, and then what I'll do is I'll come and plonk this on. Now I've got a second tip for you here. Whatever you do, if you're trying to put this on, do not put it on like that, because you're pushing, you're doing this, and this is like Bakelite, and if you do that, you'll just snap it cleaning off. and then you've got to get another one of these. The best way to do it is just put it on the top like that, and then come along with your thumb and push it down. And that's the simple way of doing it. And those two variables at 1.6mm will stop it going down too far, and you'll have the perfect height then. So I'm going to do that off camera, and I'll let you have a look what that looks like once I've done it. So okay, we've got the CD connector on top of the spindle motor. It's spinning nice and freely. You can see got a nice perfect gap there, thanks to the variable, stop me pushing it down too far. So what I'm going to do now is get this back into the optical block, solder it back in, screw it back in, put all that back together, put that protective shroud back on, put it back in the PlayStation, and we can see if the PlayStation reads CDs. So I'll crack on with it. So okay, I'm ready to give the system a quick initial test before I put a game in there. Now, as you can see, the new spindle motor connector is nicely on there. No, I didn't just swap it out with the other one. I actually did it properly. Actually replaced it. Now, what I've done is I put a little bit of a cotton bud. It's a nice little trick for you there. Cut the head off a cotton bud and just put it in here. Now, this is the lid sense button, so that's when the lid's closed. That's the sense button that tells the system the lid's closed. Now, what I'm going to be looking for is 5 actions, but one of the actions is not going to happen because the laser is fully back at its start position. Normally what happens when you power it on and the laser's anywhere but its start position, it will move the laser forward first. Now what I'm going to be looking for is a spin, a focus from the laser, a spin, and then another focus from the laser. So what I'm going to do is power that on, and hopefully we should see that. So there's a spin, there's a focus, spin and focus. So yeah, that looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is just pop a game in this, and we'll see if it loads the game fine. Power it off. So okay, let's see how well we did putting that new spindle motor connector on there. As you can see, it's spinning nice and freely. I have my original version of Resident Evil 3. So let's power it on and see if the system boots. Now you've got a slow spin. Now we should get a fast spin when it gets to the boot sector. There you go, speeds up. It's booting. And it looks good. Let's see what the track is like. Absolutely fine. Perfect. So yeah, there you go guys, we're booting Resident Evil 3. Just let the FMV run a second, see if it skips or anything. I don't think it will. Perfect. So yeah, I'd call that a success. What I'm going to do now is power it off because I don't want to air any audio. Slow that down, stop it. What I'm going to do now is strip this totally down and give it a really good clean, because like I said, it stinks. So you can, if I take the disc off, you can see the discoloration. If I just wet my finger and rub it, you'll see the nicotine come off. There you go, can you see it? It's horrible, now I've got that all over my finger. So yeah, I'm going to totally strip this down now it's working and give it a really good clean because it stinks. So okay, let's strip down this PlayStation so we can give it a really good clean. Now you already know how you get the laser out, so it's just that and that and that, simple as that. So okay, the next thing I need to do is take the power board out, so I need to remove that connector, take this little clip that holds the power connector down, and there's 2 screws to get the power board out, here and here. So okay, the next thing I want to get out is the controller ports, so I just need to remove that ribbon, pull that up, and there's 2 screws, there's one this side and one this side. Remove those and the controller port will lift out. So okay, let's get the optical mounting bracket off. Now to do that I need to get rid of 4 screws. There's one here, there's one there, there's one there, and there's one there. Remove those and this should lift out. Now to remove the actual motherboard, there's another 4 screws. There's one here, here, here and here. Remove those and the motherboard should just lift straight out. Okay, just need to remove the shield now. Should be easy, just pull straight out. There's one, and the controller shield, and that's that. Now what I can do is get this bottom ready, prepared for soaking. So what I'm going to do now is move on to the top case and get that stripped down. So okay, let's strip down the top case. The first thing I want to do is remove the actual power button. It's easy, you've got 2 clips here and you just pull them in and it pushes. Just get something to push it through. And it just pushes out. There you go. Now the reset button, same again, just push the clip, push it through, and you can get the reset button off. Now the eject button is a little bit more tricky because it's got a little bit of a mechanical thing to it, but it's super easy. Just remove these 2 screws and then loosen the tension off this spring and this will just come off like this. Okay, that's the top mechanism of the eject button. Now it's just the same as the power button, just grab these 2 wings and push them through. Same again, get something in the hole just to poke it. There we go. The eject button just pops straight off. Now I'm going to do the same for the lid. Okay, to remove the actual lid, you need to remove this screw. Now you've got to be careful because there's a little bit of a tension on this and it can spring at you because there's a spring inside. I'll see if I can show you. Try and open this one-handed. You can see, can you see how it's pushing it up? Got to be super careful because it can spring at you. Now, let's see if I can actually get it out. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it one-handed, but I'll give it a try. There you go. And it's out, and there you go. That comes out, and here's the spring. Leave that in there, it's easy to get out once I take it off. Now what I need to do is come on this side and undo this one. Now this one's just a bracket that holds it in there, there's no tension on it, so it should come off super easy. There we go. And now we should be able to get the spring off the lid. Back down there with the rest of the part. And that's the lid off. Okay, now one thing that you may forget when you're doing this is the lid sense button, so you need to take that off as well. So again, I'll just come along, see if I can pinch this with my fingers because it's really tricky to get. Now I'm gonna have to get some pliers on that. Just need to pinch those 2 down there and push it through. So okay, that's the upper case all stripped down, ready to soak with the bottom case. Now if I move this out of the way, you can see the different colour. See how it's grey here, and then you've got like a dirty nicotine yellow thing happening here. So yeah, this case needs a really good clean. So yeah, I'm going to get these in soak. Like I normally do, just a little bit of soapy water. Leave them to soak for a little while, and yeah, I'll let you see what that looks like. Okay, I've got all the parts soaking. As you can see, is the uppercase, the lowercase is here, and I've also got the metal shield and the metal that the optical block actually sits on. Now, if you're going to do this type of thing, make sure you dry it off properly afterwards, because the last thing you want is to, you know, this stuff to start rusting. So as long as you dry it off properly afterwards, it should be fine. I've also got the buttons and the eject and everything there soaking, so yeah, I'm going to let that soak for about 30 minutes and then give it a good scrub, and we should be all nice and clean from that horrible tobacco smell. So okay, as you can see, all the parts have been cleaned. It's actually come out pretty nice. All the yellows come off, and that was just with warm soapy water. So yeah, it doesn't smell of nicotine anymore. What I'm going to do now is spend the next 15 minutes putting the case all back together. We'll put the motherboard back in and give the system a complete test. Now, I'm not going to film me putting this all back together, you know, it's just the opposite of taking it apart. So yeah, the next time you'll see this, it will be all together and ready to give the system a test. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with that. So okay, I just thought I'd let you see what it looks like before I put the lid back on. I've kept the old 4-wire mod chip in there just for the moment. Probably what I'll do later off camera is take that out and put a proper stealth version of the mod chip in there. I'm not going to show you me doing that because I already have a video of me installing a mod chip on a PlayStation. But yeah, it just want to show you what it looks like. The actual bracket that the laser block sits on has come out quite nice. Sadly, we lost the pass mark. I think that's a pass mark number that Sony put on there. We lost that in the water, so obviously that's come off, but hey, happens. But yeah, it's come out quite nice. All the yellow's gone. I took 5 minutes to get the yellow off this ribbon cable because that looked horrible as well. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is put the lid on, put a game in it, and we'll see if it works okay. So okay, we're all back together, ready to give the system a test. I've got my backup version of Metal Gear Solid in there. Before you ask, I do own the original. If you go and check my video where I first mod chipped the PlayStation, you'll see the original version of Metal Gear Solid in it. So yeah, sue me. So let's shut the lid, let's power on. Well, hopefully we should get a boot. And we do. Now that strobing is because the TV's at 60 Hz and my camera shut speed's at 50. But in real life you can't see that. But as you can see, we've got Metal Gear working perfect. So yeah, there you go guys. Hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Like, comment, subscribe, all the usual stuff. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one. It's Metal Gear, baby. Sweet.
The nuclear weapons disposal facility on Shadow Moses Island,
It's working great.
Fox Archipelago, was attacked and captured by next generation special forces.